You know, when it's a family member, you don't expect that. And then when you're a child, the way that your mind processes it is as if you did something or it was your fault. When in reality, you know, the adult is in control and the child is the victim. But I didn't realize that until I got a little older, and so I struggled with some issues. I was never really mad with my mom because at the time that happened, my mom was single, and she entrusted me and my brother to my uncle, and you would never think that an uncle would do that, but he did. My mom used to allow us to spend the weekends with my grandmother. She was a very godly woman, and she taught me at a young age to love the Lord. And I think that was one of the things that kind of got me through those seasons of anger. Well, I was a young teenager. I met him, and it was through a mutual friend. Of course, it was a mutual attraction. I was very attractive as a young adult, and I thought he was cute. And you know, puppy love, it started out innocent enough. We got into a relationship. I was real young. I didn't really understand love. So of course, after time, it did become physical. We became sexual, and I got pregnant right away the first time. And you know, initially I was fearful to tell my boyfriend. He was really excited about it, and I didn't tell my mom. My mom found out about it because my mother's old school. You know, she grew up in the South, and she saw my artery. Anybody that does medical, you know, when you're pregnant, your body reflexes, they respond certain ways. So my mom, she looked at me one day and she said, "You're pregnant." And I was like, I couldn't deny it because I didn't expect the question. I was 15 years old and I was pregnant. Well, at the time, I was really set on keeping the baby. But through the process, I began being talked. It was suggested that, you know, I'm young, and that the baby would ruin my life or my future. I wouldn't have as many opportunities. What was presented to me at the time was really to get rid of the baby. That was how it was presented to me, which is abortion. The day that I had the abortion, I was taken to the abortion clinic, and it was like a loveless day. It was very dark. The clinic was dark and cold. Very, all the employees were very informal. They weren't compassionate at all. It was like, you know, sit here, do this, do that, take your clothes off. We'll be back in 10, 15 minutes. And if it was 10 to 15 minutes, it felt like an hour or 2 hours. I was just sitting in a dark room in a gown, you know, a backward gown. I'm young, and you know, they told me that once I get through with this procedure, that I was going to be okay and that my problems will be solved. So it was a surgical suction abortion. I don't know what term that is, but it was very painful. And again, it seemed like forever. I was placed on a cold steel table, and it felt like a vacuum was placed in my abdomen. And it was like life was sucked out of me. That's what I felt as soon as it began. And I just laid there on the table. The nurse, she held my hand. She said, "Honey, it's going to be over any minute now, and your life's going to turn back to normal." But as soon as I felt the suctioning and I heard that noise, I knew that my life would never be the same. And the reality of what I was doing, regardless of what I was told, hit me even as a young child. I realized that I was allowing the murder of my baby. I've always been like cheerful, but after that I was kind of more sterner. I was still kind of angry. I fought every now and then, but I was kind of standoffish, like don't get too close to me. I only had a few people that I let get close to me. My childhood was gone. I'm a woman now, whether I was ready for it or not. I would say less than a year, a little bit more than a year, I got pregnant again. That time around, I didn't want to go through the abortion anymore. I didn't want to do it again. And they gave me some pills. They said, well, Sharon, take these pills, and then when you take the pills, come back to the office. And thankfully, God, in His mercy and His infinite wisdom, knew that I couldn't sustain another procedure. But the way that my second child died, I miscarried her. I don't really have any clear memories of it. I just remember I was in the bathroom and I miscarried her in the toilet, and I knew it was a miscarriage. And to be honest with you, I was really relieved, because I don't think I would have been able to deal with myself if I had actually went through another procedure. And I had the same kind of struggles with her. I got married when I was 19, and there were some issues that I had to deal with at the beginning of the marriage. My husband, fortunately, is a very loving, patient man, so I recommitted my life with the Lord, and then that's when the process of deliverance began from the abortion, when I was able to start really facing and not denying what I had did in the past. And later in our marriage, me and my husband, we tried to have a baby. I was pregnant, and it was late in our marriage. I've been married now 25 years. And this was our 17th year, and it was a surprise. We weren't even trying, we were just enjoying each other. And I had three baby showers, because everybody was so excited, and I had like 3 more scheduled. And after the 3rd baby shower, I lost the baby, and I was in my already like 6 months, and actually I delivered the baby, because the baby was big enough to be delivered. And again, my relationship with the Lord helped me through a very dark season in my life. And the Lord would speak to me a lot. He would say, Sharon, you love me, but it's just that one area that you're concealing from me, and I need you to give me that area. And I would always say, well, Lord, what area? And He would say, that area. And I always knew that He was talking about the abortion, but it was just too painful for me to process and just give completely over to Him until I was ready for that. Okay, for these baby shoes here, this is for my son, Uran. His name means to dance, because Uran, he was the first baby that I had when I was 15, the abortion. And it means to dance, because I dreamed of him one time, and he was dancing. And I saw him and my daughter in the same vision or dream. Her name is Lahi, which means she is mine. Gilly, Yahi, Gilly. Gilly means my joy. She is mine, my joy. I now have joy in life. I now have joy in the future. I now have complete joy in the Lord. The word says the joy of the Lord is my strength, and I can truly say that. The joy of the Lord is my strength.